living water. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about a subject called It's the Thought That Counts. See, there was this young family, man and woman, who had just gotten married. They were very young and life was going along. They were both working very hard, doing all they could to make sure that their budget worked and they had everything. And they started getting close to Christmas and they were looking at their finances and said, I just don't know what we're going to do. They sat down and talked about it. They said, we really want to get each other a present. I love you and I want you to have something, but we're going to have to figure out what we can do in the budget because right now it's taken every penny we can. So they talked a little bit. Each one had some ideas about what they could do to get some money for purchasing a present for the other spouse. Christmas kept getting closer and closer and didn't seem like things were getting much better, but yet they still continued on and they agreed one day that, hey, if we can't do anything, we just can't do anything this year, but let's see what happens. Came on Christmas Eve and the wife was still scurrying around, had not been able to come up with any money, and she really didn't know what she was going to do. She started looking at some ads. Was there anything I could quickly do? Was there anything I could sell? Something I could do to get some money? And in the midst of her looking around, she saw an ad for a wig maker, and they were looking for people to sell their hair. This young lady had most beautiful long hair. She picked up the phone and she called and spoke to the people, and they asked the questions about how long her hair was and how thick it was and the color and whatever other questions you ask. And they determined that the hair that she could sell would be worth around $100. Well, as you can imagine, she got rather excited. She hurried up, headed down to the place, sat down in the chair, and they began to cut her hair off. And when they were all done, her hair was very, very short. They gave her the $100 and said, thank you so much. This will help many people. So she headed on scurrying around town. She now had $100. She already knew what she wanted to get for her husband. For you see, her husband had a pocket watch that had been passed down from generation to generation. It was a gold pocket watch. It was supposed to be a chain watch. But unfortunately, somewhere in the passing down from person to person, the chain had been lost. And she said, if I can get enough money to get this chain for his watch. He uses that watch every day and it means so much to him. She scurried around town and found a place to get the chain, explained to the jeweler what it was, what she wanted to do. He said, I have just the thing. She had just enough money to make the purchase. It had about 82 cents less. And she headed home. She was so excited. She began to wrap it. She was thinking how happy her husband's going to be when he sees this chain. And as she was getting ready, she all of a sudden began to think, I wonder if my husband's going to love me as much. He loved my hair. I didn't even ask him. I just wanted to get him something. She said, I must wrap this present. He'll be home soon. The husband walked in the door. He stopped for a minute. He knew something was different. He was looking, assessing the situation, deciding what exactly had changed. Did she change something in the house or what? He realized she had cut all her hair off, but wasn't going to say anything. He was still standing there, a little taken back, and she was getting nervous. She said, honey, is everything okay? She said, I'm sorry, I cut all my hair off. I had to do it to get some money. It will grow back. She said, do you still love me? Is everything still okay? The husband leaned back for a minute and he said, honey, it doesn't matter. I'll love you whether your hair's short, whether your hair's long, no matter what it is. I will love you. So the joy came back into her heart. And she said, it's Christmas Eve. Can we exchange our presents? And he said, sure we can. She said, "Is it okay if I go first?" He said, "Sure." And so she ran and she got the package that she had so neatly wrapped up. She handed it to him and he sat down and he began to open it. And here was this beautiful chain. And she looked and she said, "Honey, I had to get it without having the watch. I hope they're going to match. The jeweler said that everything would work." He sat down and he looked at her. She said, "Why don't you hand me the watch and let's see how they look?" He said, "Well, honey," he said, "I had to sell that watch to be able to get your present." He said, "I don't have that watch anymore, but I am so glad for what you did for me." He said, "Sit down, I have a present for you." He said, "It may not make as much sense right now, but I still want to give it to you." He reached into his pocket and he pulled out a beautiful package, set it on the table, and her mind was racing. She said, "I wonder what it can be." He said, "Go ahead and open it." As she opened it, she saw the most beautiful brushes. She had been looking for a long period of time at some professional brushes, but not only were they professional brushes, they had jewels on them. They were silver laced. They were beautiful and very expensive. She looked at him and she said, "Honey, I cannot believe you did that for me." She said, "I won't be able to use them right now, but as my hair grows back in, I will use them every day." She stopped for a minute and she said, "But you can't use the chain because you sold the watch." He looked at a minute and he said, "Darling, that's okay." He said, "You gave something that was very precious and very valuable to you so that you could buy something for me." He said, "One day we'll get another watch and I will use that chain." So you see, my friend, it's so very important for us to give the very best to the ones we love. Give of yourself. Give something that you know they will love. It may not be Christmas time, but during the every day, during the week, during the year, you can give a gift of yourself that will touch them. For if you love somebody, you will give it your all, and you will do something that will make them happy. Just as he had sold a watch that was so valuable because he wanted her to be happy. And she had cut her beautiful hair so that he could have something that would be significant for him. My friend, if we would all do that, if we would take time for the ones we love and do something and think about what would be important for them, what would make them happy, give of ourselves. If we would do that, the world would be a much better place. Thank you for listening to Layers of Living Water today. And let's all do something that makes a big difference. Let's give out of our heart and make sure that what we give is significant to the ones we love. Thank you so much for watching me this week. Make sure you come back. Share it with your friends as each and every week we learn life lessons in the layers that will help us live better, feel better, and do much better in life.